Good morning, Alex and friends. I'm Grace. Today is Friday, January 10th, 2025, and you're listening to Alex's News. The weather in Riverside will reach a high of 67.3 degrees today, with a low of 49.9 degrees, making it a mild winter day in Southern California. Coming up, we'll examine the Supreme Court's crucial role in determining TikTok's future in the United States. 10. We'll explore the concerning trend of winter wildfires in California and what this means for the state's future. Finally, we'll discuss the significance of Bepi Colombo's last Mercury flyby and its impact on our understanding of the solar system. All this and more, coming up on Alex's News. Our top story this morning. The Supreme Court is hearing arguments today in what could be a landmark case determining the future of TikTok in America. We're joined by our Supreme Court correspondent, Ethan Matthews. Ethan, walk us through what's happening at the court today.
Thanks, Grace. The Supreme Court justices are considering whether TikTok, one of the most popular social media platforms in America, can continue operating in the United States. According to the New York Times, this all stems from legislation President Biden signed last April requiring ByteDance, TikTok's Chinese parent company, to sell to an American company by January 19th, just 9 days from now, or face a complete shutdown.
And what's TikTok saying about this deadline?
Well, Grace, they're taking a firm stance. Hypebeast reports that TikTok has announced it will completely cease U.S. operations by the January 19th deadline, unless the Supreme Court steps in to either lift or delay the ban. We're talking about a platform with approximately 170 million American users that would suddenly go dark.
The Biden administration has been quite vocal about their concerns. What's their main argument?
The Department of Justice's position centers on national security. They argue that ByteDance could be compelled by Chinese authorities to share American user data. However, TikTok's legal team strongly disputes this, stating that there's no evidence China has ever attempted to access user information through ByteDance.
And there's been an interesting development with President-elect Trump weighing in, correct?
That's right, Grace. In what many legal experts consider an unusual move, President-elect Trump has asked the Supreme Court to delay implementing the ban, saying his incoming administration wants time to find what he calls a political resolution. TikTok's attorneys seem open to this possibility, though they've warned that even a short-term shutdown of just 1 month would severely impact their user base and revenue.
What happens if the court allows the ban to proceed?
According to legal experts, the immediate effect would be TikTok's removal from both Google and Apple app stores. However, there's still some uncertainty about how this would affect existing users who already have the app installed on their devices.
Thank you for that comprehensive update, Ethan. We'll be following this story throughout the day as developments unfold. And now for our second story of the morning, we turn to the devastating wildfires currently ravaging Southern California. Joining us now is our reporter Chloe Martinez with the latest updates. Chloe?
Thanks, Grace. The situation here in Southern California continues to worsen, with the death toll now reaching 10 victims, according to the Los Angeles Fire Department. The most concerning of these fires is the Palisades Fire, which has already destroyed over 5,300 structures and burned through 19,000 acres, making it California's third most destructive wildfire in recorded history.
Those are staggering numbers, Chloe. What's the current evacuation situation?
According to the California Office of Emergency Services, approximately 180,000 residents have been forced to evacuate, with another 200,000 under evacuation warnings. The Easton Fire in Altadena has also grown significantly, now covering 13,000 acres, and both fires remain completely uncontained.
I understand President Biden has taken action. What federal assistance is being provided?
Yes, Grace. The White House has confirmed that President Biden has approved a major disaster declaration for Los Angeles County, which will provide full federal funding for disaster response efforts for the next 180 days.
What's particularly concerning is the timing of these fires. Can you explain why this is unusual?
Absolutely. As reported by ABC News, January typically falls outside Southern California's traditional fire season, which usually runs from late spring through fall. Climate scientists are pointing to climate change as the primary factor, citing higher temperatures and prolonged drought conditions. The situation is being made worse by extreme Santa Ana winds, with the National Weather Service recording gusts of up to 99 miles per hour in some areas.
We're also hearing about significant property damage, particularly to some high-profile homes.
That's right. According to the Los Angeles Times, several celebrity homes in Malibu and Pacific Palisades have been destroyed, including properties belonging to Mel Gibson, Leighton Meester, Adam Brody, James Woods, and Paris Hilton. Insurance industry experts are estimating insured losses to exceed $8 billion, making this one of California's costliest fire events ever.
Thank you for that comprehensive update, Chloe. We'll be sure to keep our viewers informed as this situation develops. Here are some other headlines. Earth has shattered temperature records, marking 2024 as the hottest year ever recorded. Global surface temperatures soared 1.66 degrees Fahrenheit above the 20th century average, with both land and ocean temperatures reaching unprecedented highs. The southern hemisphere experienced particularly extreme conditions, and Antarctic sea ice dropped to its second lowest level on record. A powerful winter storm has paralyzed much of the Deep South, prompting states of emergency across multiple states. Up to 9 inches of snow has fallen in parts of Arkansas and Tennessee, with similar amounts expected in Georgia and North Carolina. Over 4,500 flights have been delayed and 2,000 canceled. Schools across the region have closed, affecting more than 1 million students. A federal judge will consider holding Rudy Giuliani in contempt of court for continuing to spread false claims about 2 Georgia election workers, even after being ordered to pay them $148 million in damages. The former mayor's ongoing defamatory statements about Ruby Freeman and Wandrea Shea Moss have prompted their attorneys to seek additional sanctions. In South Korea, the acting leader has accepted the resignation of the presidential security chief amid growing tensions. This follows the impeachment of President Yoon Suk Yeol and a standoff at the presidential residence, where security forces blocked attempts to arrest the president. The security chief had previously ignored 2 police summonses before submitting his resignation. In Venezuela, electoral authorities aligned with Nicolas Maduro's ruling party declared him the winner of the presidential election shortly after polls closed on July 28. Opposition figures dispute the results, claiming their candidate won 67% of the vote based on verified tally sheets. International observers have rejected the official results, citing lack of transparency and evidence of electoral fraud. And now for our third story of the morning, we turn to an exciting development in space exploration. Joining us is our science correspondent Ethan Parker to discuss a historic spacecraft flyby that occurred yesterday. Ethan, welcome.
Thanks, Grace. Yesterday marked a significant milestone in space exploration as the Bepi-Colombo spacecraft completed its 6th and final flyby of Mercury, coming remarkably close to the planet's surface.
Just how close did it get, Ethan?
According to the European Space Agency, the spacecraft came within just 183 miles, or 295 kilometers, of Mercury's surface, passing over the night side and directly above the planet's north pole.
And I understand we got some remarkable images from this flyby?
That's right, Grace. The European Space Agency has released stunning photographs showing features never before seen in such detail, including permanently shadowed craters at the North Pole and neighboring volcanic plains. They also captured images of the Caloris Basin, Mercury's largest impact crater, which spans an impressive 930 miles across.
Can you tell us more about this spacecraft and who's behind this mission?
The Bepi-Colombo mission, which launched in 2018, is actually a joint venture between the European Space Agency and the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency. The spacecraft is named after Giuseppe Colombo, an Italian mathematician who contributed significantly to NASA's Mercury missions in the 1970s. It consists of 2 orbiters, one European and one Japanese, both designed to study Mercury's poles.
What's next for Bepi-Colombo?
According to mission controllers, this final flyby has positioned the spacecraft for its ultimate goal, entering Mercury's orbit in late 2026. That's about 720 days from now. The complex journey, requiring these multiple flybys over 7 years, was necessary because of Mercury's proximity to the Sun and the need to carefully adjust the spacecraft's speed.
Thank you for that fascinating update, Ethan. We'll look forward to hearing more about Bepi Colombo's progress in the coming months. That's all we have for now. Today's episode was made by Alexander King with Claude Sonnet 3.5, the Perplexity API, and the Google Cloud Text-to-Speech API. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, Alex.